Hi everyone, how are you doing? Today I want to show you Ideogram. And Ideogram is this new model where you can actually adjust a bunch of things. You can load in an example image and you can add some details into those squares. But this doesn't look like this when you're downloading the first version of it. This is the KGI node. This is my adjusted workflow. This is my edit Lora, which I'm not using. I should not have this on because it's not going to work. I added the Lora loader because Ostris made a pretty good Lora that makes the whole thing possible to work under 4 steps. Apparently a lot of people just use that to check if it looks good, and then they deactivate the Lora and then they just make a longer, like 10, 12 or 15 steps version, or even longer, like high quality whatever version. So what does it look like at first, and what are the problems with it? Because the first time when I downloaded this, I was like, I just wasted 30 gigabytes on my hard drive, I'm just gonna delete this thing. But I was like, I can't really give up this fast, right? So there's a lot of people who make really good quality images with this thing. So how are they doing it, and why is it not working for me, and why does it look like trash? First thing that I noticed is that you can't use normal prompts. That's just a fact. Like with this model, you would need to use something that's called a JSON style formatting for the prompt. That's cool because that's why you have this KJ node here. That's why you have that. But make sure that you have that, because otherwise you're gonna have all these stupid image blocked by safety filter things, even if it's nothing to do with what you wrote down, like futuristic super soldiers zooming through the sky in a controlled fall with incredible speed. Background is dark clouds and thunder. So like, there's nothing wrong with this. There's literally nothing wrong with this thing, and it just kind of creates a filtered gray blocked image. Cool, thanks, great. That's useless. So I was like, this is stupid. This doesn't want to generate anything. And then I was like, okay, maybe it's just me. And yes, indeed, it was me. So what is this safety filter? What the hell is happening? Well, the model is from Canada. As every normal country, Canada has some laws against certain things in AI. So they probably try to protect the whole thing, but they kind of did like an overprotective issue there. Now, about the workflow. If you want to have a correct, really good working workflow, you can download mine. I have it on my Discord and my Patreon. It's all free. You can just click download and just downloads and you can just use it. Make sure that you join, especially because you can see my future videos and all kinds of other things from the past, and you can use those workflows too from those videos. You can even subscribe if you want, or like or comment that something is not working or something is working very great. I like any comment that I can get. If you decide that you just want to try other stuff from ComfyUI, you can click here to templates and type in Ideogram and click on this thing. If you don't see this, that means your ComfyUI is not updated. So when you download my workflow, and let's say you didn't update your ComfyUI, there's going to be a lot of issues that you're going to see. So make sure that your ComfyUI is updated, because you're going to need these nodes. And also the KJ node, you might need to update your KJ node pack as well. So just make sure that you do that. This is the workflow, what it looks like. It's a wrapped up workflow, because if you unwrap these, unpack them, I guess, you're going to see like a plethora of bunch of freaking annoying nodes. These are the nodes where you would load up the models. You're going to have all the links for these models here. You definitely probably have this, because this is just the Flux2 VAE. You're going to have this if you are using Flux2 Client 4B or 9B, or even just Flux2. So you don't need to download this if you have it. Just assign it to the node. And if you don't have it, download it. And there's the 2 diffusion models. These are a positive and a negative model. You need both of them, and then you just need one of these. I'm using the Quen, but I'll probably try out the Gemma version as well. I don't know. But these are the text encoders. So just download one of them, or download both of them. You can try out both of them, but you only need one of these loaded up at once. And they all go into these folders. See, like VAE goes to the VAE folder, diffusion models go to the diffusion model folder, and the text encoder goes to the text encoder folder. It's super easy. That second part of this freaking workflow, you don't need that. It's stupid, it generates nonsense, and it's useless. It is mainly useless because the system prompt is kind of blending together with the actual generated prompt that it's supposed to create you in a JSON format, but instead of that, it creates you a book. All right, so I'm just gonna get rid of this. I'll show you what it does. So you put in your little prompt that you want to make, right? And then you run it, and then it's just gonna make this. Like, that's just not normal. I don't think you can use that, and I don't think this is a good idea. And I'm just I'm just too lazy to read this thing. And even if it's just a small portion of this that you're supposed to copy, which one is it? Where is it? Do you really want to make me read through all of this all the time when I'm trying to make a prompt? That's just stupid. So obviously I decided that I'm not going to use it. If you want to see the unpacked version, this is what it looks like unpacked, and this is the main culprit of this whole thing making it look like terrible. So that's why I just removed this part of the workflow, and then I built it up with the KJ node, where you can create your own image using these square shaped objects, and within the square shaped objects you can just add some text what you want it to have inside. This is like a basic image that I generated before, and then you can just load up the image gets fed into your node, and you can add the squares around the things. Like let's say you really like an image, right? Like you want to have the whole arrangement of that image, and you want to create something very similar. So you load up that image, you're going to start putting those squares around the things on the image that you want to use. You type in what's in that square, what you can see, and then you make sure that the size is correct, and then you just generate your text. And then you copy the text, you paste it in here. If you're only going to use one group of workflow, you can even just click here onto this green stuff and then pull it in here onto this green stuff. Because then it's directly connected to here. You don't need to copy paste. You can just generate, and you don't need to do anything. And whatever you generate anytime, it's just gonna be generated by the workflow. I added these pass group bypasser nodes, so you can turn on and off the workflow if in case you don't want to use this thing and you just want to decide if you want to copy this and paste it in here, and then create a different prompt, and then copy it and paste it in here and create something different. You just have like a batch of images generating different things on those images. Because I figured if I set this whole thing up, might as well just create a bunch of prompts, paste them in here, and just generate everything together while all the models are loaded up, and it's not gonna like empty the RAM. I mean, for me, because I can actually load up everything into the 5090, but if someone has like a smaller card, then you may need to like load, unload. So that's what you do, and that's how you do your prompt. There's a few stuff here that you can like play around with if you want. There's a few settings that you can adjust. Your seed, you can have it fixed or randomized. There is a CFG override and a dual model CFG guider. So in the CFG override, as you can see, it's connected to a model. This model is the positive model. I just have this Lora up here, Lora loader up here. And then this one is connected to both. So this kind of goes into here, but there's a negative model that goes into here. And we also have like a negative prompt. So we have a separate CFG for this. So I figured that I can just use the CFG on one, or even on like two or whatever, but definitely on a lower number than our negative CFG. Now you can see that this image looks really good, looks professional, and every lighting and everything looks good. But when you look at this kind of looks like someone just kind of copied and pasted things from Photoshop into an image. It looks good, but the colors are not really blending in. The shadows are there, but not exactly perfect. It's because of the difference between the prompting. So what I was missing from this prompt and from this image, and what caused the lighting issue, was just me not assigning things to the background, because I just wrote down the background text as slightly cloudy sunset, sky is purple pink colored, summer warm weather. That was my original prompt. But then I was like, it's not blending in with the foreground, with the subject, with the model, nothing is happening. So I was like, the car and the woman matching the style and lighting seamlessly. So I was like, maybe I just need to add this, because technically Kijai is not making you a big prompt here. Kijai just made a converter. So whatever words you're using, the words are not getting changed. So you need to make sure that your prompt is actually emphasizing on certain things that are lacking on your images. And after that, your image is actually going to look well. Like it's gonna have proper gummy bears in the sky saying a proper word. It's gonna have a model holding a actually realistic looking frame that has a writing in it. By the way, this writing is not even the best that I have generated. I generated better ones before. So maybe I'm gonna look into that. You need to make sure that the car, the model, they all look like they were in the same place at the same time. The light direction coming from the same time. Or if the light direction is coming from a different direction onto the model, it should look a little bit artificial, like a camera flash. But otherwise, it looks good. Although I don't know what the hell happened to these shoes, but you know, you can fix that later. So that's really a tiny issue. The main point is that the image actually looks like that it was done on the same time, same day, same place. And that's what I was missing from this image, and I was missing it definitely from this image. This definitely looks really fake. Looks good, but it looks definitely really fake. Those things you still need to pay attention to. There's also the size of the image and step settings like turbo, default, or quality steps, because there is 35 for quality, 20 for default, and 12 for turbo. And if you're using the Ostris Lora, in theory, you can make 1 in 4 steps. I haven't tried it, but you can try it out. And there is the size and aspect ratio of your image. When you do this, you also have a megapixel size. As far as I know, Full HD is like 2 megapixels in theory. I guess, because if I set 2 megapixels, it's not going to be like 1920 by 1080. It's going to be like 1936 by 1088. So maybe it's just because it has like a multiply by 8 thing here, or maybe that's the original size. It's just kind of cropped somehow, or I don't know, but like this is the size that you get. So I thought that since this is the size that I get when I'm setting up the size and the aspect ratio here with all these math-based stuff, I have to go back here to the ComfyUI node and make sure that my size is set correctly. And then I adjusted my squares a little bit. So when you adjust the size within here, make sure that your ComfyUI node is created properly. Sometimes it's gonna be fine. So even though you set the ComfyUI node to like 1024 by 1024, and the squares are kind of like jumping together a little bit and get stretched out or something, or squished together, it could still generate something good here. But sometimes the difference between the ComfyUI reference, because of the numbers that are set here, are going to stretch or squish things on the generated image. So pay attention to that as well, that your size here is gonna match the size here in the ComfyUI node. And I think that's it. I think that's, oh yeah, like you have like schedulers, but honestly, I don't really see much difference. You can use Euler Ancestral, and even I tried REST 2 for now. There's probably other stuff that you can try out. It's kind of cool. Interesting to see the differences. If something is kind of off, check your prompt first. And if something is like generating continuously bad, check your seed. And then if it's still not working, check the CFG and other stuff. And if you're using LoRa's, definitely check the LoRa settings, because there's also a bunch of LoRa's now for Ideogram that you can start using. All right. So this is what I got for Ideogram. I hope you liked it. And if you need any, details or anything, just let me know in the comments. You can, as I said, you can download the workflow from my Discord and my Patreon. Enjoy. And I hope you're gonna make a bunch of cool stuff with this thing, because at first I was kind of mad, but then I started using it and I was like, you know what, this is kind of cool. This is pretty good. And if you think about using it for like in painting or other stuff, you may need to do some adjustments, but I think it's not impossible to use it for that. We'll see what happens later. This is really just kind of the start of something really cool. And then later on, we'll see how it goes. And if you want to fix something, because sometimes this really dumb, annoying thing is still going to appear, even though your image is generated properly, just drop everything into a Flux2 Cline 9b or Flux2 Cline 4b, and then just remove the text from the image, and then it's going to be fine. And if you generate an image and you want to swap the subject, same deal. Just drop it in a Flux2 Cline 9p and then swap the subject. And there you go. You have a perfectly generated image with everything you want, and then you have your own subject. But you can also make LoRa's now. So you can actually just kind of put your own subject in here with a LoRa. And that's also possible now. All right, cool. See you guys next time. Bye.